Hello, I'm Pastor Carl Johnston with the Atlanta, Ebenezer, and Hopedale United Methodist Churches, the Prairie Winds Parish. I might be a little louder than normal today because I'm wearing this mask, and I have to find myself speaking a little bit more loudly and distinctly so that you can hear me. Well, this is something you see all the time now, isn't it? People walking around with a mask. It's a way to protect myself from other people's germs or from my germs going to other people. But right now I'm in the office all by myself, and since nobody else is here and this thing's getting hot, I'm going to take it off. And it makes my beard itch a lot. Anyway, protection. Our word today is protection. Now, we have all sorts of ways in which we protect ourselves, like with a mask from germs. We will wash our hands thoroughly from the germs, and we'll try to protect ourselves. And we will try to shelter in place and not be out among people as much as we are. But we're all doing this in an effort to protect ourselves. Sometimes we do things like lock our cars and lock our houses to protect our property. We may even build fences, and especially around your garden, if you want to keep the rabbits out, you put up a fence. It's a barrier, it's a boundary, it's something to protect your crops that are growing in your garden. Protection. Now, we can talk about this in the physical, whether it's a physical mask or a fence or a lock or something like that. But let's take it from the physical and turn it to the spiritual. How do you protect your spirit? How do you protect your soul? Well, first of all, you don't expose it to any danger. You don't go places, you don't do things, you don't say things, you don't think about things that are going to put it in jeopardy. And now, if you were, think of a big city you would go to. There are certain neighborhoods you probably just wouldn't go to. There may be certain places that you just wouldn't go to. You would put yourself in jeopardy. So you have some things that you can do yourself. But spiritually, we have the praying hands behind me. Our faith, our prayers for protection. Last week we talked about the bedtime prayer. Angels guard me through the night and wake me with the morning light. That's one of it. It's part of it. Taking some time to say to God, protect me spiritually. There are some things going on around us that I want you to be protecting me spiritually. Help me to see things that maybe I'm not seeing. Reveal to me things that I don't know. Protect me from danger, harm, temptation. Deliver us from evil. That's a prayer for protection. And then, not only do we have the opportunity to pray, there's this passage in the Bible called the 23rd Psalm, and part of that phrase and part of that psalm has the words, "Your rod and your staff, they comfort me." King David was writing that psalm and thinking about himself as a shepherd and him and watching over his sheep, and how he was a lot like the sheep and God was the shepherd, and needing protection sometimes in his life. That God is walking around with a big stick, the rod, to protect. You know, it's a wonderful thing to know that you're protected. It's a wonderful thing to know that there's somebody who's going to come to your aid if there's any danger or harm coming to you. So, during this time of the coronavirus, we can do all sorts of physical things like wash our hands and put up our mask and stay at home and do all of that. But for our own souls, for our own sakes, maybe time to think about how God is going to protect us and asking God to do that protecting work in our lives, in our hearts, in our minds. I'm Carl Johnston, from the Atlanta, Ebenezer, and Hopedale United Methodist Churches, the Prairie Winds Parish, and that's something for you to think about today.